Kotonia and Ryan. This is going to be intense. Both of them fighting for their country, Japan and Korea, trying to take the title back home as Pokemon World Champion.
And it looks like we'll be seeing from the perspective of Kotone there. And so we got Ryan's team on screen, which you talked about a little bit earlier. You see the Cresselia there, potentially having some sort of, you can either go with maybe some Trick Room or some Icy Wind plays there. But based on the team that Ryan has, I would assume we won't see any kind of Trick Room play.
Yeah, I don't think Cresselia will be rocking Trick Room. I'm pretty sure. I don't think Ryan will be rocking Trick Room on his Cresselia. I don't think he's revealed it at all. Icy Wind from at one point, which is cool because that was a move I was really talking about previously with the offensive Cresselia we saw earlier on this weekend. But it looks like we're going to see both our players send out their leads. Ryan is going to lead with the Charizard and the Landorus, as Kotonia, she is going to lead with the Gardevoir and the Landorus. This background looks insane. I wish I could make some noise for the background just alone because it looks incredible.
No, that is a pretty hype background there. We're going to see Intimidates get fired off from both sides of the field here, I believe. That Landorus, both Landoruses will be affected, of course, by the stat drop, reducing their attack by 1 stage here. But the two special attackers there, Gardevoir and Charizard, shouldn't see too much of an effect. And both trainers going to go ahead and start locking in some moves here as they chose their Pokemon relatively fast.
Yeah, they definitely chose their Pokemon really, really fast. And I think that Kotonia, she has a little bit of the upper hand right now because her Landorus is Choice Scarfed. And Charizard does not want to stay in and take a Rock Slide. Even though it's intimidated, it's still going to do a lot. But it looks like Charizard is going to stay in and Mega Evolve.
And there we go, the Charizard there for Ryan on the top screen is going to go ahead and Mega, like you just said, and we're going to see the sun get set right now.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Protect here from that Charizard.
No, that could be the right play with a potential Rock Slide coming its way, definitely, depending on what this Landorus has as its item. And Gardevoir going Mega as well. No, the U-turn for Kotone, deciding to switch out here.
That's incredible. Let's use it. Charizard wasn't even afraid. Not even afraid.
No, it
Something
wasn't.
we have to remember is that the teams were posted online, so both players know their opponent's teams inside and out, and that's huge.
And could also have matched up with each other throughout the tournament.
Yes, exactly. So there's plenty of information out there, and that was an extremely bold play. We're actually going to see the overheat from the Charizard Y into the Mega Gardevoir.
Exactly, and I love the choice by Kotone there to get rid of the sun by bringing in the Charizard, switch up the weather a little bit, and reduce the power of that. And we're going to see a huge earthquake here, though, on the switch in to Charizard. Going to do on the switch into Tyranitar, doing a decent amount of damage, but the bulk of that Cresselia staying in there and getting off a Hyper Voice takes that Landorus down to 50%.
Yeah, that was incredible. You can really see that Assault Vest putting in a lot of work on Ryan's Landorus there, really being able to take that Hyper Voice. And it looks like Gardevoir, that chip damage from the Sandstorm, puts it in a very, very dangerous position here. Although Tyranitar, like you said, we didn't even get to mention it before the match, but the weather war is real in this championship match.
No, that was a key play there, obviously, switching into Tyranitar. Although taking that Earthquake isn't always the best, but the Tyranitar managed to take it pretty well. We see a Protect now from Cresselia, or from Gardevoir on the bottom screen. And let's see what we get from both of our trainers. It's going to be another Earthquake. Can Tyranitar hold on? Yes, with 65 hit points. Doesn't affect the Rotom, of course, for that Levitate. And we see the Rock Slide here now. Can Tyranitar do enough damage? No, the Landorus! Are you kidding me?
That's going to be 1 or 2 HP, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness, the Gardevoir going to live on 6 HP after that Sandstorm, so it's only got 1 more turn in it, unless the Charizard Y does come back out. But I just don't see Ryan doing that while Tyranitar is throwing rocks around. You can see, though, the original Intimidate is really paying dividends for Kotonia because her Pokemon have just been able to survive those Earthquakes very, very well. Otherwise, the Tyranitar would never have survived both of those. So it's really, really interesting to just take into account how much leading with Landorus has helped in this match. Leads are so important.
And we do see the switch out here for Kotone, maybe not wanting to risk that Gardevoir this early in the matchup being the Mega Pokemon, and getting another Intimidate off onto that Landorus could be big here. It just depends on the move choice of Ryan Park there on the top screen. And we do get a Protect switch, so nice. There won't be any more damage going into that Tyranitar slot there. Rotom, of course, going to have a move here, but I believe attacking into the Protect of Tyranitar.
Nope, we're gonna see. Yep, the Rotom did attack into the Protect, and that Earthquake was completely useless from Ryan's side, thanks to that switch in into the Landorus, and like you said, another Intimidate. So that Landorus living on 1 HP right now, even if it decides to switch out to regain its attack stat, it's just not going to be able to have a free switch, and Ryan's going to have to kind of let something get knocked out before switching it, but it looks like that's not going to happen.
Exactly. Kotone made the right decision here, switching back into that Landorus, knowing that it would outspeed the Landorus of Ryan there, and picks up a crucial feint there, but hits with the Will-O-Wisp. Ryan really excited here, going to reduce the attack and get the burn started on that as Tyranitar goes for a Rock Slide onto that Rotom that might be able to handle it.
No! My goodness!
Huge damage onto that Rotom. It's going to go back to Ryan Park here, and we see, I think, the Life Orb there on Tyranitar taking a touch away.
Yeah, that was definitely impressive. Getting that first knockout was huge because thanks to the fact that there was only one Pokemon left on Ryan's side of the field, that Rock Slide was able to just focus on that one and not reduce the damage through spread damage. So that was absolutely incredibly played by Katonia. She's really showing why she's in the finals of the World Championship. That
was definitely big there, and we see Charizard coming back in, setting the sun. Of course, I think still slightly threatened by the Landorus, although burned. It won't do as much damage with this Charizard already at about 75% health. It could be risky here. We see the switch now for Kotone, looking to take advantage of this situation here. And no, Ryan does not like the switch into the Heatran there. Protect from Tyranitar for Kotone, and this could be big. The wide guard, nice way to see that the wide guard potential was there. Charizard attacking into that, I believe, into the Heatran slot and getting maybe a boost there.
Absolutely. Charizard kind of just set that Heatran on fire, increasing its fire type attacks. Ryan really did not like that. However, Katonia, she was playing completely on point. The Aegis Slash even going for the wide guard, just predicting that Rock Slide, but it didn't come to fruition.
Yeah, and looks like we're going to get that Solar Beam here as Charizard charges up there. And the Solar Beam right into that Tyranitar. Does not like Solar Beam at all. And Tyranitar will fall here on this turn, but we will get some attacks from the rest of the Pokemon on the field. It looks like it's going to be, a big Flamethrower in the sun! Wow! Kotone doing huge damage here, even in shield form.
She has been commanding this match. The sun really ended up hurting Ryan a lot, giving Heatran the power they need, not to mention that Flash Fire boost from the previous turn, so that was more than enough. Not even a shield, no matter what you're made of, is taking that Flamethrower in the sun. It's just not possible. And at this point, like you said before, even though the Landorus is burned, a Rock Slide is going to hurt, so Ryan just concedes, and game one goes to Kotone.
Congratulations on that big victory there. Kotone making just some next level plays, really. The whole time, we were surprised to see that early switch on the Landorus, but obviously, we don't know what Kotone's bringing, but a great move there, switching up the weather.
Yeah, absolutely. That weather was clutch to get that in, and even preserving the Gardevoir in the back just in case things went south. But I think the biggest moment was switching in that Heatran. You saw Ryan just get really dismayed at that point, so he's got to try to piece himself back together, take the information he learned from that first battle, at least from the play style of his opponent, and apply that in this second game.
Yeah, Ryan's definitely going to have the tools to get the job done. It's just going to come down to the choices on there. Might be a little bit more careful about what he does with Charizard and trying to maybe get some Intimidates off onto those very strong physical Pokemon.
Definitely. I really like looking at Katone's team yet again. I really like the fact that she has Tyranitar and Heatran, who are both weak to fighting, and then, of course, she covers that with the Landorus T and the Gardevoir. Of course, Ryan has access to Terrakion on his team, as you guys can see on the screen, but I'm sure he's pretty hesitant to bring it, considering she has 4 fighting resists.
17 fighting.
17 fighting resists on 6 Pokemon, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have to check that after this match.
And it looks like both of our players have locked in here, and we're going to get these leads, which could be very important. We didn't see the Amoonguss last time, and like you said, we didn't see the Terrakion either, so maybe we'll get an appearance from a new Pokemon in this matchup.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I think Amoonguss could definitely throw things in the player's favor if they use it correctly.
Kotone, no fear here, going same lead as last time. Gardevoir and Landorus, such a strong lead. There's not really a lot of things to be scared of when you're leading like that with a strong Intimidate Pokemon and the speed of Landorus that can get out of there with a quick U-turn. Now we're going to get some Intimidates fired off here onto Ryan's 2 Pokemon. Depending on what they use as their attacks, it might not do too much, and Gardevoir going to go ahead and trace one of those moves.
Absolutely. I really like to see the Charizard and Aegis Slash lead because Ryan went ahead and predicted the Landorus the Landorus lead, which is really, really cool because we already know that Aegislash has access to Wide Guard, so they can protect that Charizard from a ×4 super effective attack, letting Charizard kind of Mega Evolve, set up the Sun, and perhaps go in. But in the last game, Ryan didn't protect, so the question is he going to do the same thing? It doesn't look like it.
Yeah, and we see Ryan switching out into the Wash Rotom there. And Gardevoir going Mega for Kotone there on the bottom screen, keeping both Pokemon in. Wasn't afraid of maybe seeing a Flash Cannon, but we'll move on here as Kotone decides to protect, maybe predicting that there would be no Wide Guard this turn, and a U-turn now again from Landorus, and getting rid of that Sun most likely if Tyranitar's in the back there.
Absolutely, I think that's a really, really strong play. Of course, Gardevoir and Rotom Wash are going to be the only ones to take sand damage if the Tyranitar does come in, but just getting rid of that Sun. Actually, I don't think the Sun is set yet. You know what it is? It's the battlefield. It looks bright.
Yes, that's
but
right.
Charizard never evolved. Listen, we don't get to see this battlefield often, but we're going to see Aegislash go into Blade form, and
Yes.
it looks like it attacked directly into that Protect.
Yeah, most likely seen a Flash Cannon there, and you are corrected. I saw the beams of light
They're
heralding
so
down
beautiful
from the sky. Yeah.
for the World Championship match, but that's not exactly the Sun.
So Ryan in an interesting position here where the Aegislash is in Blade form and could be taking a serious amount of damage from either of these Pokemon, depending on the movesets. Gardevoir sometimes having access to things like Shadow Ball. Also, obviously, Heatran with Heat Wave. But we do see the Hyper Voice come out here early, doing a ton of damage into a Blade form Aegislash. So Aegislash not going into a... Oh my gosh, not quite enough there. That Hydro Pump, and here we go. A Flash Cannon that taking a little bit of damage off that Rotom, and we do see the Citrus Berry here, but not a ton of damage onto either of these Pokemon.
Well, we're going to see the Aegislash go ahead and go for the Shadow Ball into the Gardevoir. Is it going to pick up the knockout? It picks up the knockout. You saw Ryan's face throughout the turn of all those events. He was just getting happier and happier. Once he saw the Flash Cannon into the Rotom Wash slot, he was ecstatic. That was an incredible, incredible turn for Ryan.
He was just waiting for that. I think the King Shield was probably what was on Kotone's mind there, especially Aegislash being so vulnerable in Blade form. Now we get the switch back into Landorus here. Going to fire off a couple Intimidates. Will reduce both of these Pokemon's attack by one stage, but not sure if it will have too much effect unless that Aegislash is carrying maybe something like Shadow Sneak. We've already seen it be a special attacker.
Yeah, I don't think... I think that last turn was absolutely huge. Aegislash now deciding to go into Shield form. Ryan definitely made a gutsy call by keeping that Pokemon out in Blade form, but it really paid off. It's all about risk-reward, especially when you're in the World Championships. We're going to see the Landers just go for another U-turn and switch out. That does a ton of damage to the Rotom Wash, a lot more than I thought it would be, kind of indicating that Rotom Wash maybe is not as bulky on the physical side as ones we're used to. So definitely interesting. We're going to see Kotone go out into the Tyranitar, and it looks like Ryan was not too happy about that, but he's crossing his fingers for something. I'm not sure exactly what. Let's see what the Rotom connects with the Will-O-Wisp. That is huge. So that was an incredible, incredible prediction. I didn't know what he was thinking, but now I know what he was thinking.
Yes, but now we know what was going on there. It was a great choice to go with that Will-O-Wisp there because the Tyranitar is definitely a physical attacker, as we've seen some of its moves early on in the match here. Going to get a little bit of damage done there, but maybe even could do something with a crunch here, even though it's burned. But Aegislash in shield form really has that bulk.
Definitely, and just really quickly, in case you're new to Pokemon, Will-O-Wisp also has another name. It's called Will-O-Miss, because players often see it missing, and that's exactly why Ryan was crossing his fingers. That was an absolutely beautiful play. Really going to, like you said, be able to preserve that Aegislash. Now, of course, doesn't appreciate the fact that it's going to have to take 2 super effective hits if the Heatran and the Tyranitar double up into it, but realistically, a Hydro Pump from Rotom Wash is going to do a lot to Heatran if Kotone leaves that unprotected.
Yeah, and it looks like actually Rotom Wash is getting out of there for Ryan. He's going to switch back into the Landorus here. So really, really lowering the attack of that Tyranitar down quite a few stages now with the addition of that burn. But here we go, Flamethrower. Oh, is it going to be enough? Did it hang on? I believe he picked up the feint. Wow, Kotone picks up the feint. What a great job she's doing out there.
Absolutely, and then we're going to see Tyranitar go ahead and go for the crunch on the Landers. That has to be a crit. It's a crit. Oh my goodness. That's through a burn and an Intimidate and does 40%. That is insane.
That was incredible. Of course, the critical hit not feeling the effects of the reduced attack there.
Yes. Rotom Wash is going to come back out to the field right now. So Tyranitar gets that special defense increase in the sand, so I don't think Rotom Wash is going to be targeting that down anytime soon. But considering Heatran did not protect itself last turn, fearing the washing machine, it's a big mind game right now. Ryan has to decide what his opponent is thinking. Is she going to protect? Is she going to get out of there? It looks like the Landers is going to be firing off an Earthquake.
And we see the Shuka Berry come into play. It's been very popular this entire World Championships, and a big feint on the Tyranitar of Kotone. That was absolutely huge. Heatran's still in it though. Could maybe just get something off here. Rotom though connecting with a big Hydro Pump, and I think Ryan Park has absolutely flipped this match over.
You can hear the crowd going wild for Ryan, because I'm sure no one wants to see this game just be a 2-0. We want our third game. At least that's how I feel. The crowd feels, and Ryan played spectacularly in that last turn, picking up a double KO. The momentum from that is absolutely huge, because Kotone is forced to switch into her Landers, which is going to use the Intimidate, but now Ryan has freedom to switch out of his Landers if he wants to, but really it's a 3-on-1 situation. Ryan's probably feeling pretty comfortable right now.
This is definitely huge for Ryan. It's going to be a uphill battle for Kotone there.
Without a doubt, I think the only thing we could do right now, or the only thing that Kotone could really do is, yeah, that's right, click Rock Slide and hope for secondary effects.
That is it. Of course, outspeeding. It does look like Ryan has hit through that with a knockoff now. So getting rid of what is most likely a choice item there, and the burn. Wow!
That was, you can hear the crowd. That was incredible. Getting rid of that choice scarf to make sure that Landers isn't speedy anymore, and now crippling its physical attack by burning it. A burn, of course, cuts a Pokemon's attack in half, so it's not going to be hitting hard at all.
I'm just curious as to whether or not Ryan has 2 items on that Rotom, because I haven't hit 2 Will-O-Wisps in a match in about 3 years.
So you think the Rotom had that Citrus Berry and then Wide Lens?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, you probably open up that middle door, you know, stuff a couple items in there.
Get a couple items in that machine
if
there.
If any Pokemon could do it, I feel like it would be Rotom Wash. Of
Definitely.
course, we're going to see on that turn, the Landers does take the Rotom Wash out, but the Rock Slide from Ryan does connect, doing a lot more damage. Kotone's her Landers is kind of sitting there, 52 HP burned, and the damage is going to take it slow. Of course, Charizard's going to come in now, and because that Choice Scarf is gone, ladies and gentlemen, we have a fast Fire type on the field.
Yeah, that could be pretty tough there for Kotone, who's probably going to take some damage on this turn here as Charizard goes Mega.
Of course, it's going to depend exactly how Ryan trained this Pokemon, so I'm not sure if he's exactly going to want to reveal that in the second match if it does outspeed a Landers without the Choice Scarf. And it looks like, oh my goodness, the Lander is still outsped, but Charizard dodged those rocks.
Wow, incredible, but the Landorus also hangs on after that big burn earlier. Here we go, absorbing the light, and it's gonna be a Solar Beam. See ya later.
I feel like the Solar Beam, you can hear the crowd because this is going to Game 3. Make some noise, and if you're at home, make sure you're using the hashtag #PlayPokemon right now. All the stress, everything is on the line for these two players on the main stage.
No, it's absolutely huge. I've been seeing some of the tweets on screen. People are so hyped for this matchup. I mean, a Game 3 is absolutely huge. And there we go. We see a quick look at the crowd. I see some flags there representing their home countries there, cheering for some of their favorites.
Absolutely. It's a real beautiful thing to see that, just supporting the player that did make it. Perhaps those are even players that played this weekend but didn't make the cut, and now they're just rooting for their favorite. Really, really awesome to see. You can still hear the crowd. I love an energetic crowd.
Yeah, what time did those guys get here to get right up front? This place is packed.
This place is packed out.
I could not walk through I was like trying to get over here. I'm not going to make it.
Was I the only one that got on my hands and knees and had to crawl through legs? Was that just me? I literally brought a change of pants because I was just covered in dust. It was a bad time, man. It's a bad time.
I thought that was you? You were the guy?
Yeah. Did I knock you over?
That was you going covert ops all the way to the stage.
I had to, man. It's Pokemon. I had to make sure I got up here for this incredible match.
All right.
Oh my goodness.
Both players locked in early, quick. Maybe we're going to see some similar leads out here. And actually, no. Kotone on the bottom screen, she decides to switch it up. It's going to be a Thundurus Landorus combo there, so the Genies are showing up today. Ryan going with the same lead as last time. Aegislash as well as Charizard there, and again has that wide guard threat like you mentioned earlier.
Of course, we see some consistency here in Ryan's lead, and in the previous game we saw consistency in Kotone's lead. I think it just depends when the player wins a match, and if that wins, maybe they don't feel the need to adjust and predict. But honestly, bringing that Thunderous can be extremely huge for her. Kotone can really, she can prankster, she can do some crazy stuff. It's really going to be intense to see what she wants to do. I believe she's running Swagger on it as well, so we could end up seeing some shifty, shady stuff here.
And obviously Thunderbolt, a very popular move on Thunderous, so really threatening that Charizard through the potential wide guard there. So even if the Rock Slide's not going to hit, this Thunderbolt might do some serious damage there. The sun does get set this time. Confirmed the sun is set, and it is a prankster Thunder Wave there from the Thunderous on Kotone's side, and Ryan very excited to see a U-turn there, so maybe locked into 2 moves that he really liked. And there we go, Kotone getting her Pokemon back, and will have a critical decision right now to make.
Yeah, especially because you saw how happy Ryan was. This could be extremely crucial depending on what slots Ryan targeted. Of course, we can see the sun is going to go away.
Did Ryan predict the Tyranitar switch? Is it going to be a flash cannon?
Oh my goodness.
Oh, the full paralysis off the Thunder Wave.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Ryan. That is bad news bears, and it looks like the Aegislash went for a substitute. That is a free substitute.
That's huge. It's going to be high now. I think we saw the leftovers on it earlier, and there we go. That Aegislash could be here to stay. Jonathan fanning himself off here with the note cards.
Because you got
this match is hot fire.
This match is hot fire. The sand might be up, but the heat is not gone from the battlefield. Seriously, that turn for Ryan could have been insane. We have no idea. He could have targeted down. Oh my gosh, and a full paralysis on the Charizard as he went for the protect.
And that is absolutely huge there for Kotone on the bottom screen as we see a taunt go off into that Aegislash slot. And it's going to pick up a ton of damage here on the Charizard with a big Rock Slide. And the Mega will fall for Ryan Park here, and maybe the substitute will fade as well, but maybe not. We got to see. I do believe it, the substitute has stuck around here. Aegislash now going into Blade form. We will get the final move.
To see exactly what this Aegislash wants to go for. Is it Shadow Ball? Is it Flash Cannon? Who is he targeting? Let's find out right now. It's going to be a Shadow Ball into the Thunderous slot, doing a good deal of damage.
Taking it down to 70 hit points, getting the Citrus Berry here, and Thunderous back over 50% into the green, but Aegislash did still get to keep that sub. However, it can no longer King Shield.
Yeah, it cannot King Shield thanks to the taunt on the previous turn, and I feel like Ryan's really got to be feeling the heat right now. You think you'd be coldest when your Charizard faints, but he's got to be feeling some heat up there. That full paralysis, back-to-back full paralysis, only a 25% chance to happen on each turn, so the likelihood of back-to-back ones, I'm not doing math right now. I'm watching Pokemon. You can't make me.
No more math?
I'm not doing math right now. It's bad. It was just, there's no way my tongue is hardly cooperating. My mind cannot do the numbers.
No, not at all. As we see a Thunderbolt get fired off into that Aegislash slot, will do enough damage, I believe, to break that substitute here, leaving the Aegislash very vulnerable here. But Rotom managing to connect with a Thunderbolt, taking Thunderous down to 38 hit points here, and it's going to
those risks, knowing that Aegislash cannot use King Shield or protect or substitute anything of that nature thanks to the taunt, had a free opportunity to go ahead and crunch into that slot because either it was going to be a switch in or it was going to be a fainted Aegislash. So she's playing on her A game. Bringing the Thunderous is proving to be the greatest adjustment she has made for this team.
Yeah, she's definitely playing the risk-reward game there. It was interesting going for that Thunder Wave early when probably having access to Thunderbolt, but maybe knowing that Charizard could potentially take a Thunderbolt. I'm not sure. It depends on how these Pokemon are trained, of course. We see the switch now for Kotone on the bottom screen. They're getting a nice Intimidate off onto the Landorus of Ryan Park, who can no longer switch out that Landorus, so every stat drop it gets, it's going to be permanent there. As the Rock Slide comes out, was maybe hoping to hit that that Thunderous there, and a nice Will-O-Wisp though from Ryan. Gonna go ahead and really reduce the attack of this Tyranitar that also I believe took an Intimidate on the switch in of that Landorus, but firing back with a Rock Slide here, not doing much at all. Ryan really showing the bulk on these Pokemon, not to mention the status drops.
Absolutely, the status drops coupled with the burn is really going to pay off for Ryan. He's in such a tough spot though, going 2 to 4 with Katone, she can just switch her Landorus out and just get another Intimidate off on that Landorus on the other side of the field. So I really feel like she's just going to try to get rid of this Rotom and recognize that Landorus isn't going to be doing too much as long as it's getting all these stat drops. Not being able to switch it out once you're in a 2 Pokemon position can really, really hurt you.
Yeah, a lot of safe plays here for Kotone. Just making the right decision is going to be key here. And we get the Rock Slide now from the Landorus on Kotone's side. Doing just a little bit of damage, not really too much to either of these Pokemon. They're really able to eat that up. And
the flinch! Oh, the miss!
Gosh.
It was a miss!
A miss there on that, and Rock Slide doing just barely any damage to this Rotom that gets the Citrus Berry, so that burn was big early on.
Absolutely, that burn is really paying off. We saw on the very first Rock Slide, Ryan's Landorus did nimbly dodge those rocks, and then Rotom was the only one that took just a little bit of damage from that. But double Rock Slide is a dangerous game, especially when you're already up against the wall, 2 to 4. You don't want to be playing with the potential flinches. Of course, 80% actually, when they do miss, it can really help you out if you're on the receiving end.
Yeah, it can be nice there. And let's see what we get. It's another Rock Slide. Kotone not afraid to stay in here. Oh, Rotom hitting back with a big Hydro Pump. Is it going to be enough? Landorus faints here for Kotone on the bottom screen. And as we saw, Tyranitar's just not doing anything in this matchup.
Not at all. Ryan is making the correct decision, but it looks like Rotom's getting a ton of damage. It's a crit on that Rotom, but the Life Orb coupled with the burn is going to take Tyranitar down.
And that's it. Tyranitar will go back to its trainer, Kotone, on the bottom screen there. And I think Kotone still actually has 2 more Pokemon. I don't even think we've seen the 4th here. This should be a Thundurus and potentially Gardevoir here?
Potentially Gardevoir, potentially Heatran. We haven't seen it at all. She's been playing, there's the Gardevoir. She's played this whole match with 3 Pokemon, and she has a full HP Gardevoir right now, which is going to be really, really tough. Of course, the Thunder is not really going to be able to take advantage of Prankster, at least with Thunder Wave. If Kotone is feeling risky, she can go for a Swagger and try to ride it out, but I think she's just in such a good position, she has no reason to take such risks.
You're exactly right there, Jonathan, I think. And I don't think Ryan liked that. He knows that Gardevoir has access to some spread moves here that can do some serious damage to both of these Pokemon. It's all going to come down to, I think, speed at the last second here, and also maybe a little bit of favors from the luck out there.
Absolutely, secondary effects can be in the favor, but it looks like Landorus is going to go for a Rock Slide, but I believe, yes, it did miss the Gardevoir entirely. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that, not being able to hit that Gardevoir, I think that the Rotom's going to go for a Hydro Pump, connect on the Gardevoir with that. Lower accuracy, but coming through Rotom, really trying to. It looks like the Gardevoir is going to fire off a Hyper Voice, and the game goes to Kotone. The players shake hands. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your Juniors World Champion,
Kotone Yasui. Congratulations.